Good afternoon, Dr. Brad.
Hello.
Today is Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. This is a working session. We're continuing our work on what we've called Volume 1, which is the system of measurement. I've got a little bit done offline in the past 2 days, so I want to talk to Brad about that a little bit, and we're probably going to continue with work on our first principles, I assume.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Where do I go? I was really out of it yesterday. I apologize.
No need for that.
I still woke up with a massive headache this morning, but it seems by this afternoon it started to go away. So I was able to do some writing while waiting for my card to be worked on. And it's very interesting, the writing process. I suppose it's not the same for fiction, because the little fiction I've written, it's really not that difficult.
Right.
But this is quite difficult.
It's only the apex human scientific discourse. So that it should be burdensome is not too surprising to me.
Right, and making it a story that you can follow, that's something else. So I've been working on the first 2 chapters. We don't need to cover that today. But we're at the point where we've made the argument, right? And then you sort of say, you know what you want to do, you outline it, you do the sketch and the outline, then you go through and you say, this is missing and this is strong and this is weak, and you fix that. Then you get down to where you're worried about paragraphs and how, in sentences, right? Does this sentence say what I want it to? It's for the people who don't write anything that's got to be published. It really does work like that, unless you're one of those people, and there are these kind of people, by the way, that they craft a story a sentence at a time.
Wow.
I mean, I'm glad they can do that. I suppose if I were writing fiction and I had an outline, I could maybe do that. But I can't do that with our work. There's just no way. I have to get the idea outlined and then gradually refine it. Just like I do with my arguments, right? I'll make an argument a dozen, 15, 20 times before I feel like I've sort of got it down. And then I wait for you guys to shoot holes in it, which doesn't take very long.
Oh
and
my.
Then I plug some more holes in it. All right? So what'd you say?
Said, oh my.
Oh my. So that's where we are. My net effect is I feel way better about this every day that goes along. So I have basically 3 paths going on here. I have the stuff that's behind us. In other words, the thing that you and I have already worked on, but I have to work on the paragraphs and sentences. Sorry. I have the stuff that we've covered, but that I'm not comfortable with the story yet. How the story's laid out yet. That's sort of chapter 2. And then we have the things that Martin is working on he's ahead of us now, and he's finding logic holes or lacks of clarity. Lacks of clarity? That was an interesting use of language.
It's close enough.
Clarities of lacking. I mean, there's got to be some way the British would say it would be funnier. Anyway. But anyway, so last I knew, we had worked on the first 2 chapters well enough. I don't feel we can work on the grammars yet. I haven't got that to where that's cogent enough for us to work on. And then I want to get to first principles. And the reason is that I want to make the most use of your time. And to move through as much of the work as possible. While when I'm done with a section, I feel like it's okay, the sentences are about right, then I want to go over it with you again. But what I find is that I spend a lot of think time, right, when I'm trying to solve a problem in this section, and I don't want to drag you through that.
Right.
And I feel like I was doing that too much earlier, so I don't want to do that anymore. All right, so what do you give me that face for?
That was, oh, alas.
Oh, alas. Well, you know, you're blinking. You know, cats do that.
Is that how it is?
The cats
I was
blink.
because my eyes were bothering me
Is that what it is?
a little bit.
Usually cats mean, okay, I like you. You can stay here.
You're all right.
All right, so what I'm going to do is ask you a big question. Here, before we go to first principles there. So I'm going to share my screen before you even had to remind me. How do you like that?
It's awesome, Curt. You can find the button, yeah, can you?
I can find it. I can find it today.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You should see first principles here.
Yes.
All right. So this is what I want to work on today. However, I, as usual, need to go over things with Brad.
Okay.
So we did this already. This is a note to me. I'm not going to leave this in here. I'm going to move it somewhere else. But I thought of it while working. So I'm trying to make the point of why not, you know, what is this thing, right?
Right.
And I felt like I jumped in with natural law too early because it's like, fuck. So I did philosophy, ideology. Then I said correlative, and I positioned us as causal. And then from causal, a science of decidability, the natural law of cooperation, the constitutional natural law, and a formal natural. I don't know. Somehow I want to organize this. But I felt that that was the sequence I had to explain it through. Does that make sense?
Right.
Does that make sense? Okay. So I feel like that's what what I was having a problem with in the beginning. There's duplication here, and there's too much detail. And so I actually cut a bunch of stuff out, and I can see myself cutting even more out. This up, which is basically, what is this about? This section is got, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking here.
Huh.
All right. So I've worked on that a bit, and I'll get that down because I know what I want to do in my head now. I just have to focus on it. And then this is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. So it's that first little bit that's bad, all right?
Right.
This needs too much work. I just drafted the logic out of it earlier, so I don't feel good about that yet. So working on first principles. Now we've done first principles before.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to find, I don't want to do that. Where is it? Over here? There is, what's it called? Swore again, Brad. I cursed again, Brad.
Oh my.
I've been doing pretty good lately.
I'm impressed.
I let the F word slip out the other day.
Oh goodness.
That wasn't good.
No.
Overview fine-tuning method. Let's try search for behavior. That looks about right. Oh, what's going on here? Shit.
What?
Oh, I just lost my page. So we've done all this really deep dive, right?
Yep.
Does not look like it's the most current. I think this isn't the current one. Doesn't look right to me. Not right. All right, I don't want to waste time on that then. Okay. So we have existence, persistence, defeating entropy, pressure, closure.